Hi there, I'm Beth.
I'm Meg.
And we're the Two Wine Women. Today, in celebration of the Academy Awards, the Oscars, tomorrow night, we're going to talk about celebrity wines. We've got a couple here today that we want to show you.
Yum.
Yum, right? And we've categorized them three different ways. How did we categorize them?
So there are basically three categories. We did musicians that are involved in the winemaking business, actors, and athletes.
So actors, what would be some of the actors? We've got a couple, actors and actresses. One of my favorites, which we're going to taste today, is Brangelina. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have a winery on their property in Provence, France, and we're going to taste the rosé today.
Yep. And then there's also an old actor from the 50s and 60s, Fess Parker. He played Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett and apparently was in a lot of Disney movies. We're all a bit too young to remember actually seeing him, but we do know his wine because it's widely distributed from a vineyard and winery, and then he also has an inn and a spa out in the Santa Barbara, Los Olivos area. And then
Johnny Depp has a winery.
Johnny Depp has bought his old girlfriend really a vineyard, yeah.
Raymond Burr has a winery. So those are some actors. What about musicians?
Musicians, we have today. Actually, we're going to taste the Train Save Me San Francisco wines. Dave Matthews has collaborated with a winemaker named Sean McKenzie, who's from New Zealand, on his Dreaming Tree series of wines, but he also owns a vineyard in Virginia called Blenheim Vineyards in Charlottesville, Virginia. The musicians, the rap star. Sting and Trudy Styler in Italy.
In Italy. Yeah. Madonna has one with her father in Michigan. Can't tell how the wine is there, Michigan. Whatever. Fergie has a winery.
And then the rapper.
Oh, Ricky Ross. Ricky Rosé Ross. Best known for his love of rosé. That's why he's been nicknamed Ricky Rosé, R-O-Z-A-Y, Ricky Rosé.
Yep.
Ricky Ross, rapper.
Yep.
Jay-Z has, he lent his name to a champagne or a sparkling wine that's been nicknamed the Ace of Spades, and it runs about $250, so we won't be tasting that one today.
No. Greg Norman also is very well known for his Greg Norman Estates wine out of Australia.
And I think that is probably one of the oldest wineries that is an athlete.
Yeah, I think so too.
In the early 80s, I think he was.
And then Jeff Gordon.
The Beckhams.
Who only drink, they don't sell their wines or anything, they just drink them themselves. All for their personal use.
Whatever. So I'm really excited to taste our first wine today.
Yes.
We're going to do the Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie Rosé. Let me give you a little bit of history. They have this massive estate in Provence, France, where they produce all of their own grapes to produce this rosé. The estate winery is called Miraval, and they've partnered with the winemaker Mark Perrin, and so we're going to taste this. This is a 2014 rosé, and I've heard insane things about it, so I'm very excited to taste it.
I am too,
yes.
And I love rosé anyway. So
yes,
awesome.
I would love to hear feedback on what you think of this wine. Ooh, nice on this.
Nice, yeah.
It does. I really prefer rosés over many whites. Especially in the
summer. Yeah.
That's nice.
This is really nice. Yeah, it's not sweet.
It's not sweet at all. Nice and smooth. Wow. Okay, Brangelina.
Yeah.
I'm
job.
impressed.
So next we are going to taste one of our athletes, Greg Norman, and like I mentioned, these are very widely distributed. You can probably get Greg Norman wine in pretty much any wine store in the world. So we are going to take a look.
Yeah.
2011 Chardonnay.
I have some history about Greg Norman.
Awesome.
You know, his logo on all of his stuff is the shark, and he's been labeled the shark. But I researched why they actually call him the shark. Can you see the label on there? The shark. It's because when he first showed up on the golf circuit, he was circling the green, and the commentator goes, "Who is that shark that just showed up on the green?" And the name, the shark, stuck.
Interesting.
Ooh, very bright.
Yeah.
Very fruity.
No oak in this, I don't think.
No oak in this sucker.
That's really good. I've never had that before. I just thought
Very fruity.
Yeah. I like it.
I prefer oaky Chardonnays, but this is very light.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
I like this.
You could drink lots of this.
We're gonna try Train. I happen to love Train. We went to see them last summer in concert, and I just think they're a great band, and they've stood the test of time too because they've been popular for a very long time. This is Save Me San Francisco, which is the name of their 5th album, and every wine is named after a song on that album. And this one is Soul Sister, which is actually one of my favorite.
Sing the song. How's it go?
Hey, Soul Sister, ain't that Mr.
What's this, a Pinot?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this is a Pinot Noir, a 2013 Pinot.
I love the nose.
Love the
Only
nose.
Diggy this Pinot. Oh boys, you did such a nice job on this. A little bit of tobacco, a little dark berries on the nose.
That's all I get is the berries.
Let's talk about some of these wines that we have. Why don't you talk a little bit about Dave Matthews'
I will.
wines?
So Dave Matthews has, whoops, that's not Dave, that's Fess Parker. So Dave Matthews, who is a musician, I'm sure you're familiar with him. He was probably most popular in the 90s, I would say.
Late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
So he actually has 2 involvements in the wine industry. He partners with someone else on this Dreaming Tree label. And this is probably the more well-known of the 2. But we have today a Cabernet and a Chardonnay, and then he has a couple of other varietals too. And then in Virginia, which is so interesting to me because I used to live in Virginia and I'm familiar with the Virginia wine country, but never actually got out. Well, I got out to one winery in his area. It's called Blenheim Vineyards. It's in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is where the University of Virginia is. And that winery he owns all by himself. And
It's a family winery, the Matthews family winery. So Zach Brown is just launched his line of, or his vineyard, and it's called Z. Alexander Brown. Zach is spelled Z-A-C, and quite honestly, I didn't know who it was. So I had to Google Zach Brown, but the guy at the wine store said, yeah, this is the newest celebrity wine that has come on the market. Zach Brown is a country western singer, and he sings with a band called the Zach Brown Band. Woo!
they're very, very popular, actually.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't listen to country music.
I don't either.
Ricky Rosé. The Luc Belair Sparkling Rosé. Ricky Ross is the rapper that put his name on this one.
We have Francis Ford Coppola, which I believe are Napa Valley wines, and they pretty much have every single varietal you can think of. I think we mentioned earlier that they had the rosé called Sophia, named after Sofia Coppola, and you can get these anywhere, and they are very good. Decent,
Good
moderately
drinkers.
priced wines. Yeah, very good.
Between 10 and 20 bucks always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we already talked about the Greg Norman Estates wines and Dreaming Tree. Oh, Fess Parker. And Fess Parker also has many, many varietals out of the winery in Los Olivos. And just a side note, we did a video on Firestone Wines, the bachelor Andrew Firestone, who is another celebrity. And the Firestone Winery is also in Los Olivos.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
And did you know, speaking of musicians, Mick Fleetwood has a
Oh,
winery.
right, yeah.
It's,
and Olivia Newton-John.
And Olivia Newton-John. Hers is in, I'm sure, New Zealand, where she's from.
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Is she Australian? I thought she was New Zealand.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Mick Fleetwood, he's in Lake County, California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else we should mention?
Madonna.
We talked about her, Michigan
And
wine.
Fergie.
And Fergie's winery is in Santa Ynez Valley,
Ferguson.
California. Joe Montana did a collaboration. He didn't actually make the wine. Joe Montana. Ooh. Same time as our boy Johnny Elway.
And Jeff Gordon, the
Gordon.
race car driver. I read an article that said the Jeff Gordon Napa Valley wines were on track to become one of the best wines in Napa Valley.
Really?
But who knows? I mean, it's somebody who might be sucking up to him or whatever.
Or us
Yeah.
writing an article.
We would like to introduce our mystery woman before we sign off. Hello. This is Kathy. This is my roommate from college. Too many years ago to count at East Stroudsburg University. Now it's a university. Back then
We
it
won't
was a
say
state
what
college.
year it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
long
it's a
time
state
ago.
college.
East Stroudsburg State College in Pennsylvania.
I am so
Cameraman.
privileged to join today.
Cheers. Cheers. The only qualification for you to be in our videos is that you like to drink wine.
Yes. Lots of